Hosta are great shade plants for the garden. Now, if you irrigate Hosta and you keep them watered maybe once every 10 days, you can grow them in more full sun. Some Hosta varieties, many of the green types, like some protection from the sun. So afternoon filtered sun can work, and this variety is one of my favorites. And the hummingbirds love this one too. It's Hosta Royal Standard. And it blooms later than some of the other Hosta. And it's got really nice foliage, and when you plant them 24 inches apart, they'll help keep the weeds out. Hostas also make great cut flowers. But maybe when we're here, we might be fortunate enough to see the hummingbirds, because they love this Hosta. They don't love all Hosta, but they like the Royal Standard. If you ever get a late spring freeze, which sometimes we get, I'm Mark Viette, and I live in the Shenandoah Valley, we will shear the foliage off and they'll come back with new foliage. You could divide Hosta, pretty much throughout the year, but the ideal times to divide Hosta are going to be in the spring or the fall. Those are the two best times. And really what you do is you can dig the entire clump and shake the soil off and divide it, or what I recommend is to dig maybe half the clump, fill back in with soil, and then take the half you've removed from the ground, shake the soil off, and divide it. They're all different types of foliage. There's golden, there's variegated, there's gray leaf plants, there's blue leaf plants. Some leaves are this big and some leaves are this big. Hosta can be anywhere from 2 inches tall to maybe 6 feet tall with the bloom. So there's a Hosta for everyone's garden, easy to grow plants. Hosta also make great container plants. We used to have a lot of annuals in all of our container plants, but what we decided to do is why not put some ferns, some epimedium, which is a great ground cover plant right here, and then fill it with Hosta. We do not have to replant them. Now, these containers are large containers. We get these from Harper's in Harrisonburg. They're heavy-duty concrete containers that don't break during the winter. Now remember, if you're going to try to grow plants in containers, you need at least a 2.5 foot to a 4 foot wide container. That helps protect the plant during the winter. I mentioned, look at the different colors that you've got. This is a great one here. This is Paul's Glory, and it's just coming into bloom. Once it finishes blooming, what you will do is you can remove the stems and then enjoy the foliage till frost. Another one of my favorite hostas, well, I'll probably say that all the time. I have lots of favorites. Well, within the top 20, this is Hosta nigrescens. Now, to give you a little bit of history, my dad, when we were living on Long Island, was part of some of the founders of the Hosta Society, and I knew them. My dad knew some of the founders of the beginnings of the Hosta Society, and we have about 260 different types of Hosta. Remember, there's over 1,000, but we have some of our favorites they're almost running into becoming heirloom plants. This is nigrescens, beautiful foliage that's nice and low to the ground, and then the flowers come up to maybe almost 5 feet, so you can look through the flowers and see the rest of the garden that we have here. So remember, pretty much you could find any type of hosta that will fit your garden requirements.